77 years after they started elementary school together, a group of 10 classmates are catching up on lost time. Back in January of 1947, these 10 classmates started kindergarten at Bryant Elementary School. Throughout the years, they have continued to stay in touch, and today they met up for breakfast at the Warrior Hotel before a tour of Sioux City. All but one of the classmates live out of state, so this tour was a way for them to see parts of the city that have changed throughout the years. KTIV's chief photographer Acacia Phillips followed them for part of their reunion and brings us their story.
We're all here.
Dennis, you're all here?
Well, physically.
We go all the way back to Bryant School, and we're talking about the late 40s, the post-war period.
We were a small class, and I don't know, it seems like we just stuck together.
Through those years, we've experienced many different things that life presents, and through it all, we've remained friends.
One of us was pushing, the other was pulling.
Yeah, right. You were pushing
I
me
wouldn't
in.
do that to you.
More recently, we've all reconnected once again, deciding to come back to our home place.
This is Hamilton.
This is Hamilton right here.
This was where we lived when we were kids, and we have so many memories of Sioux City that we're going to recount and also see the changes that have occurred in this community.
Oh my God. Liberty now, but it was probably Smith was. Oh my God.
What's special is that we're still here. That's pretty special. Some of our classmates are no longer with us, unfortunately, but that's life.
One of our companions, who was kind of a leader in that he kept us up to date from time to time, he passed away. And in his memory, we and a few others chipped in, and we bought a bench, which is now located in Grandview Park.
I wanted it right near the playground, they did it.
And it's a nice bench.
Yeah.
There's a saying that the best things in life are not things. The best things in life are friends and family. And we, for over 70 years, have had these friends. We made this time, this opportunity, a time to be together.
That was chief photographer Acacia Phillips with that story. Now, the group will continue their reunion tomorrow to share more stories as well as see a little bit more of Sioux City.